Hi, all Bones here from AusBSA Bantams. Welcome back to the workshop, welcome back to the channel. Sorry about the background noise. I've got my diesel heater going and the welders going around the back there. So it's a little bit chilly here this morning, so just getting the heater on till the sun gets up a bit, warms the shed up a bit more, or at least gets the chill off it anyway. You poms would probably think I'm pretty soft, but yeah, it's sub 10 degrees out here, so yeah, it's not the warmest. Time to put a beanie on too. Anyway, so what am I up to at the moment is I'm prepping out an engine for a customer for a 1948 Bantam he's wanting to put together. He's got some of the very hard to get bits like the early model egg-shaped tail lights and cable operated headlight and all that sort of stuff. So where he's accumulated some parts, and so I've gone out into my stock and selected a set of engine cases for a 1949 Bantam. It has a bit of a hairline crack in it, and we'll show you that right now, and we'll show you what we're going to do to repair it. So first job has been prepping these cases ready to go away for vapor blasting. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. That ticking in the background is my shed heater kicking in. You can just see a crack around there, which is normal for when it throws the chain and it breaks this bit out. So that's actually still intact even though it's cracked. So I'm going to V out this side as weld prep, and I'll just leave the crack from that side so the aesthetics of it, you know, look the same. I'll fill this little bit up and I'll dress it back, but we'll get this done so I can get these off to be vapor blasted. These cases have been through the dishwasher to clean all the dirt and that off them, but set of 49 cases for the customer. So this is my specialist guide grinder. So that's why it's got a hook up there. All good. Rightio. We'll get into these cases. I've just got to change over my tool. I'm going to put a little bit of a fillet in there so I can lay a weld into that on the inside of the case. But we'll change out our bearing tool and we'll get that done. So I've got our weld prep done in there. You can see the blowtorch around the back. I've got the heat gun on. Just set the welder up over there from the amperage and wire feed, and we're just heating up the engine cases now in preparation for welding. Alright, I've just finished welding. I couldn't get right down in the back there, and sort of never have been able to when I do a repair like that. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I've got enough weld bead on here to ensure the integrity that this doesn't fall out. I've built this up a fair bit, and I went back over the other side under here. I'd rather have more than less because it's all easily ground off. I will dress these up. I won't put it in the mill. Sometimes when if the scallop's missing, like this whole piece is missing out of here and I build it all up, I'll set it up in the mill and I'll machine both sides, but it's not necessary on this one. And I'm trying to maintain the visual integrity of the engine, you know, like I mean, I can dress this up and you'll basically never see it because the clutch cover's on, but still, you know, try my best. So not too bad. So some people say, why don't you TIG weld it? Well, it's pretty easy. I don't have an AC TIG welder, and it'd be a little bit difficult to get into that. I find a lot of the welding I'm doing on engine cases, I'm trying to build stuff up so I can machine it back. So MIG welder is really good. So if you're not sure about welding with a MIG welder, So just change your normal mid-gas over to argon, like you do with a TIG, and aluminium wire. And the irony of it is, probably the best aluminium wire I've used is the Boss Weld wire you get at Bunnings. So it actually welds really well. My wife over there with a coffee. Yeah, where is she? Let's go now. Look at that. She'll run away. Got her on the spot. Thanks, Lizzie. So every morning when I'm out here, she actually brings me out a coffee. How cool is that? Righto, I'll have a coffee and I'll get back to work. Where did I put that? Oh, there. I'm going mad in the old age, I'm sure of it. So, what I'm just doing now is just the tiniest high spot there. And it doesn't warrant enough to put it up in the milling machine. So I'm just going to file it off. If I stop that rocking a bit more. That's why I have the glove underneath it. That's better. It's ironic, you know, like kids doing trades these days, like the ones I've talked to, they don't do a whole heap of filing anymore. God, we had to bloody file V-blocks and bloody cubes down to 2000 and all that sort of stuff, draw filing it. Someone on the Oz Bandham's back phone, I better go and answer it. Oz Bandham's phone speaking.
Good morning, Tony.
Oh, hey. Okay, back again. After I was just talking to a guy who's going to try and do spokes for me. And he's out in Western Victoria. I recently tried to buy spokes out of the UK from and I'll mention them, Central Wheel Components. I've always used their stuff and I found it to be fantastic. I wanted to order 2 sets of spokes and the freight from the UK to here was actually more than the spokes. The world's going insane, I tell you. Anyway, back to file and get this flat. So that's what we ended up with. You can just make out the crack still there. We've got a nice flat surface there for the what do they call it, left hand engine case, I think they call it in the parts book. So that won't be slinging any crap into the ignition system there. On the back, yeah, not the prettiest but functional, it'll work, it's good. So from here I'm right to send these cases off to be vapor blasted. So you can see I bolted the cases together because these were obviously preheated before I welded them, so I didn't. The reason for bolting them up is to ensure that there's no distortion of the cases while you're welding them, but it's gone pretty well. I'm happy. So we'll get these in with the box of the rest of the gear and off into town a bit later. So there's all our bits ready to go. Off to vapor blasting. In here we have our barrel, which will go off, and Dave at Vapor Blast Restoration Solutions will blast and paint that for me as well. Carby body going off, so this is going to look a treat, this engine, once it's done. All the other bits I've basically got accumulated over in here. All the new bits are ready to go, and you know, all the other stuff, I'll try and pull it out and have a look. Crank and everything all done in there. All that stuff's ready to go. So once our cases and all that come back from vapor blasting, we'll be getting ready to put this, well, we won't be getting ready, we'll be putting this engine together. So I've just had a parcel arrive, and these are spokes these are spokes and nipples for Phantoms. I've got 2 wheels to build for a customer. Another customer wanted a set, and another customer who just wanted a set for a rear. So they have arrived, which is very good. So we'll get into some lacing up a wheel in just a minute. We've got our wheel prepped. We've got our bearings in the front hub, and we're going to do our front hub first. Now, obviously, you'll have 2 sets of different length spokes. So these are the sets for the rear, but which will be basically the same because the 2 hub sizes are the same. But with the brake drum, obviously the shorter one's going first. I always put these ones in first, and the reason for that is with these sort of kidney shaped slots, you can actually feed the spoke in and pull it and then feed it in. It's just a lot easier way to do it. So what we'll do is I'll start threading spokes in and start building it up. Rightio, so I've got all our spokes in, and from here, I'll get that out of the way. I'm just going to start feeding the spokes in and actually work my way around like that, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So we've got one that side, 1, 2, 3. We've got one there. So I've got all this side in. I'm just going to go around now and put all the nipples in. The blocks of wood, that just obviously lifts the rim up and allows you to move the spokes around a lot easier. This is why I've got to put the rims in the nipples in as well. So I might just, because I can drop out reasonably easily. So we'll go and put some nipples in around this side. I've got to move the camera in order to do it. I'm trying to give you a bit of an idea. So once we get it, this will orientate these. Have a look at your crisscross pattern and make sure it's consistent all the way around. And actually, as you can see here, when I'm doing it, sometimes I just go and drag another old wheel out and just verify I've got everything in the right spot, because there is nothing worse than lacing up a wheel where you're getting towards the end and find out your lace pattern or your like when you look at your spokes, you know, that they're not crisscross, they're like that or like that, you know. So we'll keep going on. So what I'm looking for now is I'm actually looking, oh, you can't see it, I'm looking underneath here, and what I'm trying to see, you see how the hub's not protruding past the rim? Because that's called the offset. So I've got to have, I think off the top of my head, it's about 10 mil on the front. I'm just about to go and have a look at my data and verify that. But the way I've done the spokes, these need to back off just a fraction, just to let that hub settle down a bit. Because what I don't want is to be screwing, you know, trying to pull the hub backwards and forwards to get the alignment. I want it sort of in a nice set before I even do it. Some of these spokes are loose, some are a bit tight. So we'll just go around, we'll just back them all out. Now, the great thing about these nipples is that they have basically a square drive in the end of them. So whilst I'm using this, I'm not doing them up. They'll all be done up by a spanner. It's just a lot easier than having to screw them all on by hand. So I'm going to go around and back them all off and get a bit of sag on this hub, especially on the tight ones. And just check here's one. Back it off. Loose, tight, tight. I'll just keep going around like this so I get a bit of this hub sagging down a bit further to give me an offset. Actually, I'll have a look underneath. Oh, it's coming through now. We'll keep going. Just put all the spokes in. They're not all tight, but it'd be hard to see it. But the actual vertical run out in it is pretty good. Obviously that little bit of a woof because I haven't tightened them all. And as you can see, I can't see the brake hub protruding this side, which means I've got to pull the whole rim across to get a bit of protrusion there. So we'll start doing that. Okay, start pulling up on the ones on this side. 1, 2. That's loose, so I'll get a little bit tight first. That's tension. 1, 2. That's loose, so I'll get that one pulled up first and then give it. Well, that's really loose. Not 100% sure if you're going to be able to pick it up on the camera, but there's my little pointer there. For the life of me, I don't know why these things come with a steel pointer. It's the last thing you would want rubbing against a chrome rim. So I just cable tie a cable tie onto it. Of course, it's a cable tie. Snip it off, and then that way, if that bit hits the rim, it doesn't matter. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see the gap in there, but that's the offset, and I've got probably 2 and a bit mil run out at the moment. That little rattling noise you can hear is the distance piece in the actual hub just moving around, because there's no real tension on the bearings, like compressing it yet. So it's still got to go, the whole rim's got to go that way. I'm going to say about 1 millimetre, and then we'll go around, and then I'm going to check spoke tension. So we'll just move around here. Sorry about moving it on the stand. The way I check spoke tension is like this. Get the spanner. That's a bit different sound. And that's because these are longer, so they're going to give a different pitch. So make sure you go around once, so don't go, oh, that sounds like it needs tightening up, because it doesn't. It's a different length. So yeah, so that one's not as tight as the one next to it. That's loose. Yep, that needs a bit more. Pretty close. That one needs a bit. So I'll just keep going around like this. I'll just keep going around like this, and because I'm getting close, I want an even tension on the spokes. Tiny bit on that. Okay, so I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. We're looking at the vertical run out of the rim. Now, if I grab hold of the rim down here, you know, this truing stand's not absolutely perfect. So we have a look. It's pretty good there. It's about a 2 mil gap. 2 mil gap, just kisses it there and then just leaves it. So it's only over about that distance, which lends me to believe it's just a woof in the rim. We're still about 2 mil, bit under 2. Just kiss again, and that's it. Just one little kiss just there. So I think there might be just a little bit of a woof in the rim. Alignment, I'll just get that to run without wobbling. You can see that's pretty good. That rattling, as I said before, is the distance piece in the actual hub itself. But I'm pretty happy with that. So now that I've got the aligned, I'll just do another check again. Like I'll just keep going around like that, just in case you lose, or not lose one, but bloody, you've missed one for some reason, and it's pretty loose. You just go around and check them, but they're all pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So time wise, what's that taken me? That's taken me 2 hours to actually lace it up and true it up. Now I know there's people out there who probably do it a lot faster that are wheelwrights and things like that, but I'm not a wheelwright. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just get you up a bit. Let's come up. Stop the wobble in there. That's come up really well. I certainly have it on my boat. No worries about that. So from here, time to lace up the back one. But I won't bore you to tears with that. I'll just show you the finished product once I get it done. As you can see, there's a little bit of spoke protrusion out here. I have to go back in with the stone on the what do you call it? The die grinder. That little cross there that you can see, that's the weld join in the rim. Sometimes they have a little bit of a flat spot here, and when you're looking at the vertical on it, you just get a little whoop like that. So I've just marked that there so I can see it when it's coming around. Very good. Happy. Humming in the background's the heater. It's chilly this morning, very, very chilly. I think it was about 2 degrees, that is. You Poms must be loving this, seeing an Australian freeze. We'll get onto the back wheel and get it all laced up now. So that's our rear wheel laced up. This one had a bit more of a challenge in it because it does have a bit of a woof in the rim and a couple of woofs on the edge of the rim. So you've got to be careful about where you're taking your datum from. Those little like slight dents out, and they're only 1 millimetre or so, but it's still, you know, I try and get a rim running within a mil and a half. People get all super pedantic about it, but you've got to remember once you put a tyre on it, they're never perfectly true either. So we will go through the couple of little nipples just poking through. I'll die grind those off, and then we're all done. This is good. So next item on the agenda is the sprocket on the Jawa. I've just had the new sprocket arrive from Czechoslovakia. So what I have to do, and I'll explain a bit in detail once I get it apart, and I'll show you then. It's probably a lot easier if I show you. So I'll stop waffling on and I'll get the wheel off and then I'll show you. Righto, so back wheel's out. There's the sprocket that was on there, and this is the sprocket that should be on there. As you can see, it is considerably larger. So with the Jawas, this hub assembly, they actually stake, it's got a spline in there, you can see the teeth of the spline. Slide the sprocket on, and then they actually stake it on. So I won't be able to do that because I don't have the tool. So my intention is to machine the teeth off this one, bore this out, press fit it on, get it running through, and then weld that onto the center of this one. But interestingly enough, when I unwrap this sprocket, it's got no lead in on the teeth. Like, they're dead square. So I'll be definitely putting a chamfer on those, and they've machined them. They haven't really deburred them either, so I'll be running around with a die grinder to just take that edge off there, because obviously I'm running a brand new chain. So I will get to and start doing some machining. And this is for a special viewer of mine, Dean from Retro Mechanica. Remember ages ago when you had condensation in your workshop and it rusted everything up? Well, we've had a sub-zero night here, and I left this uncovered. I usually have that sheet over it, and this is why all my machines are covered up. But even with this, even with my lathe covered up, you can just see like a bit of the emulsion on that. So yeah, it's that time of year where you really got to be careful from condensation. And well, the shed's warmed up now. She's over 10 degrees. So that one's for you, Dean. It happens here as well. So we're just going in now, start taking the tips of these teeth off. Pretty slow speeds. I'm not hanging on by an awful lot. I'm actually hanging on by the spline, so I'm actually looking at that. It's got a bit of run out in it and I don't like it. So what I am going to do is take it away, put a centre up here to try and centralise it a bit more and get that concentric run out of it. Didn't notice that before. All right, I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the run out in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change out to a 4-jaw chuck and pick up just on this inside lip in here with a dial indicator, just to make sure I've got it spot on. I could actually pick up on the outside too. But either way, we'll get it running spot on. You can just see the run out in it, but we'll get it fixed. So I've got it dialed in. I'm a lot happier with that. Now we'll start machining all these teeth off. So I've got the teeth machined off it. Nice finish, a little bit of a chamfer there and on that side for weld prep. So it's time to put the big sprocket up and bore it out to suit. So I have started machining out the larger sprocket, and I've got about 3 or 4 mil to go. Just turn that on. So running pretty well, all dialed in. We'll just keep whipping away at it until we get a best fit size. So I've finished machining. Time to bring it out. I'll knock off the burr off this edge of the lap wheel on the grinder, and then we'll try, we won't try, we are going to press fit it onto the centre of the hub piece of the sprocket. See how we go. Okay, this will be nice and loud on the microphone probably, like hammering on a steel bench, but like the wheelwrights of old, hopefully. Oh, you beauty. That's a good fit. Right. The other bit of scrap fell off. It's going on nicely. It's probably as loud as buggery on video, so I'll just keep tapping this. Back up in the lathe between centres and spin it. Make sure I've got this sprocket running true, but I'll keep tapping away and get that done. Ooh, another frosty start. So from yesterday, we've got our sprocket on. I'm just about to weld it up. I've just done a little bit of weld prep with the wire buff, get the paint off the original bit, get a bit of scale off the new sprocket, and we'll lay a weld on it. I am going to arc weld this on. And there's a fair bit of surface area. It's really not going to be an issue. So I'll get set up and get this welded up. Near the ticket in the background, workshop heater. Whew. I'm really glad I'm not still working night shifts in this stuff, I tell you. Okay, we've got it all welded up. So while it's cooling down, I'm just going around the edges of all the teeth. I think I mentioned before that I wasn't entirely happy with the finish. I have linished profile on the edge, and this also gives me the opportunity to go in and check and see if I've got any weld spatter in any of the teeth and knock it out. So I'm just going around. All right, so for those of you that aren't familiar with Jawas, a bit like, a lot of the 40s, 50s BSAs where you it's like a quick change hub. So your whole sprocket assembly bolts up, but you can drop the back wheel out, which is pretty cool. So obviously we've got a bigger sprocket on now, and what I'm doing now is just measuring up the chain, getting ready to cut the chain to length, and we'll start fitting up side covers and things like that back to it and get the back wheel back in. So I've just moved that, so just measuring up now, so I've got to cut that pin right there. Rightio, so we'll go over and we'll cut our chain. Okay, so I've taken the bike for a run. It was still a little bit doughy, but a lot better. And then it dawned on me, I was getting a little bit of blowout. You can't see it, it's on the other side, but the actual exhaust muffler, just a little blowback. So I've taken the baffle out of the tailpipe at the end, made all the difference. So I just had a bit too much back pressure. That bigger sprocket makes a huge difference. I'm able to pull top gear, no worries, and it would be interesting to see what top speed I got. I mean, it's not going to be breakneck speed, but I think it'd top out around, if the speedo is to be trusted, I'd say 50 mile an hour, which is not too bad for a dunga old Jawa. The engine's like is fresh, you can feel that it's fresh, and so I'm really looking forward to taking it for a run when I get it registered. But there are a couple more jobs to go, or one more job to go, and that is make a chain guard. You can get a fully enclosed Jawa chain guard, but I think they're about $400 or $500 by the time you get them here, so it's a fair chop. So I'm going to look into actually fabricating one just to go over the top chain. So all the lights all work, everything's operational except the chain guard. So I'm very happy. I think we've just about got this resolved. The only other thing I will do is, because I've put an electronic ignition on it, and I've set the timing at like a standard set, I'm going to put a thermometer, like a thermocouple that hooks underneath your spark plug, and just measure the head temperature once I get it running, to make sure I'm not advancing too far, or the inbuilt advance isn't advancing it too far. Very good, pretty happy. From the freezing start this morning, it's absolutely glorious now, which usually happens in winter around here. So we're probably 15 degrees, somewhere between 10 and 15 degrees, I reckon, at the moment. So it's nearly lunchtime. I'm going to jump on one of my own bikes. I'm heading off down the coast, and I'm going to have some fish and chips for lunch. To all my subscribers, thanks very much. I really hope everyone's enjoyed this video. And so from Bones at AusBSA Bantams, I'll see you later.